It's extra special.
It's double extra special. This is 'tis the season, man. Like, remember a very special episode of the sitcoms, like we were just talking about? They always had great Christmas episodes, unless they were locked in a freezer, and then it was the clip show. But the ones that actually committed to the gimmick, those were always great.
What was some? You have a favorite?
I mean, I always like seeing the Regal Beagle decorated for Christmas.
Why is there not an actual Regal Beagle, or is there one in San Diego that they based it off?
There better be a Santa Monica Regal Beagle, and I would like to go to there. What's up, Internet? Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Joyous Kwanzaa. Have a nice day for whatever thing you choose to celebrate. We choose the red and the green. The red and the green, and then a little bit of white. What would you consider the third color in the Christmas color spectrum besides red and green? Is it white?
It has to, white.
It has to be white, right?
My whole background here is red and white.
What? Because of the white, because of the snow, because of the stars.
I mean, I feel like blue unofficially is one too.
Blue too.
Yeah.
Because really important stuff. I have some lights on my back porch, not the front porch lights. I have all the lights. But I was just like, you can only choose 3 lights. And I'm like, what's the third Christmas color? Because Halloween, right? You went with orange, you went with purple. And I guess you can kind of go with red, but red's blood red, but it's also Christmas. So I didn't count that.
I've never heard of a Halloween purple.
No?
No.
Orange and purple?
No.
I always feel like those are the two.
I mean, I guess it makes sense now that I think about it, but I never thought of that.
Yeah, and they just light up that's for the back porch. That's just for my own amusement. The front, you do all of it, right? You just get the flickering lights.
Yeah. Are you pretty decorated over there?
Oh,
you
yeah.
got the whole Clark Griswold gimmick going?
100%. You got to fight for your Christmas spirit. People are even driving by, and then the neighbors are kind of making fun of me. You know, it's just like, wait, I thought your son's in college. Didn't he move out? It's like, bro, it's not for him. It's for me.
Nosy ass neighbors.
It's for me, man. It's not. You got to fight for the Christmas spirit. Fight for your dreams, and your dreams will fight for you.
Yeah,
said Brian Danielson. So I'll fight for that Christmas spirit. But I was talking today on the way here. You know, talking to Brother Wayne, professional wrestler, friend of the show, and I was like, well, what does Christmas become when you're an adult, right? When you're not really taking the time to base it around kids, you know, whether it's daughters, sons, nephews, nieces, godkids, whatever, going to your neighbor's kids. What, as the adult, what is it? And it's like, it's food and drink, it's music, and it's movies.
Yeah, that's solid. Yeah,
that's Christmas.
Food and drink for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had a Christmas movie marathon going on Saturday, so we got through about 4 or 5 of them.
Yeah, that's still like the best part.
Yeah.
And now you get to the point now, it's just like, do you watch these movies that are Christmas movies in the summer?
No, I don't like to.
Right? You like to save them.
Yeah, I don't want to.
Stock them up.
Yeah, you want to wait, but when it's the season, you want to like pour through them. I also really like the some of the streaming services. They like to curate episodes of shows.
Thank you.
Into a thing.
I'm a fan of that because like we were just talking about one of your favorite. What's your favorite Christmas special show? And the Brits, their UK shows, they love doing that. But we talked about this before. The Ted Lasso Christmas episode. I watch it every year now.
Yeah.
Like I noticed, and like you can just jump in there and you can just go. So I love that they're curating that now and just like pretty much just lining them up.
I love that.
Like it's just right there at the top line. You know, streaming has its drawbacks, right? And people are battling back, but it has its pros, and that is one of them.
It's got some fun parts.
So if you're listening, YouTube, which I know you are, YouTube TV, work on that UI. That's all I'm going to say. I'm trying to find the Saturday Night Live Christmas special.
Yeah.
And it's very difficult to find. And I found it instantly in Peacock.
Well, yeah, because Peacock's got all those.
Yeah.
YouTube doesn't care if you watch Saturday Night Live or not.
Yeah, it won't grab it. It won't curate it.
They want you to watch more people making spaghetti in their underwear.
That is the Christmas spirit.
Yeah.
But we've been catching a lot of movies, you know. What's up, The View with Drew? How are you?
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, we've been pouring through a lot of movies, and you know, here in ATX, Austin, Texas, we're a fan of Terror Tuesday, and we're a fan of Weird Wednesday, and we've been catching a lot of movies here. And it's kind of got us on this idea that we're going to the obscure Christmas movies you didn't know they were Christmas movies. But before we get into that, as the thumbnail kind of tells you, you kind of have a Christmas PSA around Jingle All the Way.
I guess it's not so much of a PSA, but just things occurred to me. Sometimes you watch a movie and you've seen it for years, and whether you might not like it, whatever, it's just fine. It just kind of exists there, and you throw it on and you watch it through somebody else's perspective.
Yeah.
And it sort of changes your perspective on it.
Yep.
Not necessarily in a bad way or good way, but you just see why, I can see why someone would think that. But anyway, I threw on Jingle All the Way in the midst of the movie marathon, which, I mean, on paper, right, it's a blast, right?
Yeah.
It sounds like a blast. You got Arnold Schwarzenegger versus Sinbad, going back and forth to get the hot toy. This is all based on, remember when the hot toy, that was a 90s thing,
Oh, yeah.
When folks used to actually camp out for Black Friday and get into fist fights.
It was born with Cabbage Patch Kids, and then it just never stopped, and it blew right through to the 90s.
Yeah, and now it's just I'm not sure, they send people digital coins or whatever for Black Friday. But anyway, on paper, it sounds like a blast. And as I'm watching this, and it starts, and you've got have you seen this in a while?
It's been a minute.
Look, it starts with a big Power Rangers style action scene, and it's got the big Arnold font, the kind of stuff we always put on our thumbnails, which is big action movie font,
Right.
And then it's okay, this because this was, I guess it's sort of playing on the Arnold Schwarzenegger we knew in the 90s, right? He was on that streak. And the very first scene is Arnold hard at work, and he works at a mattress store, and I'm just thinking immediately, this is a horrible miscast. He's a manager. I don't even think he's a manager at the mattress store. He's just taking mattress orders.
He just works
and
there.
He's and he's in his polo with the logo on it. Just yes, sir, we're going to get your mattress out to you. And it's just at that point, I'm just that's ridiculous. And then, and then it gets, as the movie progresses, it's the story. It's the dad works too hard selling mattresses, and he forgot all to get the kid. First of all, he misses his son's karate tournament because he works too hard.
Yeah.
Right. And then, misses out on the gift, and it gets into this. And then, as I'm watching this movie, I start to realize I think this is a really bad message to be spreading there.
Right.
About Christmas is all about what you get. And the toys and the gifts you receive. Are you feeling me?
Yeah, I mean, that was coming off the 80s, right? And where, everybody remembers Gordon Gekko saying greed is good.
Yeah.
Right? And this was 96. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I guess that message kind of stuck around for now.
It usually takes a while to transition, right? And then this is a comedy, so it's kind of poking fun at established ideas, probably,
Yeah, and this was Arnold still swapping, right? When he was no longer doing the action movies, he was going for the comedy,
right?
Comedy takes.
He had done Twins and Junior and had some success, so it's okay, I'm going to do one funny one a year too.
And now this type of movie, this is usually what's involved in horror movies that are based around the holidays now, right? Thanksgiving, Krampus, right?
Yeah.
They all start off with that greed is good, and the brawl at the Walmart parking lot.
Yeah. And this one takes those ideas and this, it's just having fun with them. It's folks are at Black Friday fighting for the toys and just it's the same thing as Thanksgiving, the opening for Thanksgiving, but there's just no blood.
Right.
Instead, it's goofy. He punches somebody and they go flying back through a wall or something like that. But then you've got Phil Hartman as the heel neighbor.
Oh man, R.I.P. Yeah,
R.I.P. But this is, and he's trying to sleep with everybody's wife, and it's and he's constantly trying to be grabby with them and put his arm around them. I'm just wow, this movie, you'd never make this movie today.
No. It was pretty. It was the crowd score was pretty low on Rotten Tomatoes, but I mean, I don't know if this is something that Do you hear this on a lot of people's list of people revisiting it?
I feel like it's always on the lists they bring up yearly, right?
Right.
Anyway, what I'm saying is, if you're looking for a good family film to watch around the holidays, don't pick this one. Don't be fooled. Like I just think it's, I got no heat with Arnold,
No.
but the message about end of PSA.
I look. This is a solid cast. I mean, '90s Sinbad. You couldn't go wrong. You had Arnold. You had Mrs. Tom Hanks in there, Rita Wilson, right? And then we were talking about this. You had Jake Lloyd. You had little Anakin Skywalker. Annie.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a solid concept. And think about
Did Sinbad bring the movie down?
I don't know.
Is he the weakest link? You know who Sinbad replaced? You know who was this movie was originally written for?
No.
Joe Pesci.
What?
Yeah, that was Joe Pesci's part.
Oh, wow.
And then once they brought on the director, they found that it was too awkward having Arnold and Joe Pesci in the scenes. He was just it worked in Twins.
It worked really well in Twins.
But when they're against each other, when they're antagonists, it doesn't work.
Yeah, Joe Pesci's more, he'll let him have it with his lips, right, his mouth, but I don't know, like when he has to go toe-to-toe, maybe that super fight of Sinbad and Arnold Schwarzenegger will be a little bit more even?
Yeah, they're more of a height in physical. They're more of a match physically,
Yeah.
You can't have Arnold fighting Joe Pesci in public.
No. I can't see Joe Pesci as a mailman, though. I think that casting was okay.
Yeah, no, I mean it totally would have fit. Now, if the movie hadn't already been horribly miscast with Arnold, it could have worked. I could have seen Stallone versus Joe Pesci.
Yeah, there you go.
I feel like that would have worked.
And they were script swapping for a while, all the way back to the 80s, right?
But again, I don't buy Stallone as a mattress salesman either.
No. Does Stallone have any Christmas movies?
Cobra.
That's right.
Is one of the only ones.
Cobra and Rocky IV.
You said Rocky IV is one, but
that's it. But the traditional side, he's getting to the point, right? I'm in that stage too, the graybeard stage, where you can do I feel like you got to have a little bit of the gray in the beard to say, okay, now I'm gonna, as an actor, I'm ready for a Santa type role.
Yeah, well, Arnold's doing it now.
Yeah,
he's been they've been filming him in the streets of New York, filming his Santa movie.
All right,
with Jack Reacher.
Oh man, that's good casting. I'd like to see.
Yeah,
I'd like to see that. Did you get a chance? Did you get a chance to watch Red One yet? In your movie festival?
No, I haven't watched it yet.
Are you saving it on Christmas Day? You're waiting for your mom to have it on loop?
It'll probably be Christmas Day.
So we didn't talk about this, but it went from universally panned movie to the #1 debuting movie on Prime Video ever.
Yeah.
What a swap. And then they're kind of playing it off like, well, yeah, we wanted that. We just needed them to pay for a couple posters.
Right.
They needed to make that, and then the rest was just the awareness. It was an awareness campaign.
Yeah. That's great. I mean, I can't help but be suspicious though, since Amazon controls their own viewing numbers. But that's just the conspiracy theorist in me.
Oh no, I was listening to a show that was listening to the James Gunn, Superman numbers on that trailer that dropped, and everybody's just like, where are you getting these numbers? What happened to the Nielsen's? I feel like we now in 2024 more than ever, we have the ability to gather these numbers, decipher these numbers, and present these numbers. And I feel like they're being hidden more than ever.
Yeah.
Where before you literally had to have a guy come to your Nana's house, knock on the door, and offer to put this box on the back of her box.
Yeah.
And now her number represents my number.
And I also need you to fill out this notebook that says everything you've watched and mail it in to us.
Yeah. It's like, what? It's like you don't even have to do that anymore, yet it's harder to get these numbers more than ever.
Well, because those numbers are they're out for sale too,
Yeah.
Like if you're on the Netflix top 10 list, people think that's the rankings and the ratings. That's actually you can buy that spot.
Yeah.
I want to be #1 on the Netflix list, so you pay for that. Netflix is sure.
Yeah, I see. That's the thing. And this time of year, this has got to be somewhat of a the busy season for streaming services. You have a lot of people not going out. Like you said, I think it's a genius idea to curate these and just let, like, hey, just put these movies in your playlist and let it rip.
I think so.
You know, and you don't have to hide that. And what's awesome is it can be, like we're going to talk about, it can be on the nose, all the stuff that everybody watches, or it could be something that's really obscure that you had no idea was a Christmas movie. We went with a little bit on the nose in for Terror Tuesday with Black Christmas. I don't know the last time you had seen Black Christmas, but this is Bob Clark, if that name sounds familiar with you. It is that same Bob Clark that made A Christmas Story. So he made 2 Christmas classics. And this was also the very first slasher, right? This is the proto slasher, like even before Halloween, right?
It's definitely before Halloween because have you heard the story of the sequel to this?
No.
So Bob Clark had made this movie. There was a young director in Hollywood trying to make his way, come up with his new idea. He met with Bob Clark and they had lunch. And he asked him, what would you do if you did a sequel to Black Christmas? I love that movie. Bob Clark says, I would set it on Halloween and have him get out of the mental institution, and that would be the sequel. And have it on Halloween. And the guy he met with was John Carpenter.
Oh, wow. See,
and like they've acknowledged this in public, but Bob Clark is just like, man, that was just we just were talking. He wasn't trying he didn't want rights or repayment. It was just like, man, we just talked about it over breakfast, and that's what happens.
And then it was done.
That's Hollywood, baby.
Yeah, that is Hollywood. That's the cocktail napkins of our dreams.
How did you like rewatching Black Christmas?
I enjoyed it. I liked it. I mean, it's definitely. I see with our Joe from AGFA, the American Genre Film Archive, when he was talking, and he's like, it's slow, but it's not boring.
Yeah.
So even though it was the slasher, it didn't have the prototypes. They didn't have the body counts and like the formulas that you had to hit. I mean, he was creating something new. So it was interesting how long it took between the first unaliving and then the rest of them kind of balled in at the end.
Yeah, that's how you can tell it's sort of a proto slasher. Is they hadn't really realized that the body count is what people want.
Yeah,
there's like, no, they want a story about relationships and stuff.
Yeah, and you got that. I mean, this was a good story. I mean, this was. I don't know how it translates to people these days that understand there was no call blocking. There was no, like, all you can literally do is take the phone off the hook.
Yeah.
Like, so when you can get stalked, like Eli Roth talked about it in the intro of the movie, that you can literally, if you get a phone, that means you have a phone number. That means you're going to be in the book, unless you say you're not in the book. And being in the book also includes your address. So someone can find you. And shout out to Olivia Hussey and Margot Kidder in 1973. They were smoke shows. Man, they were so hot. They were just like those two were like competing for how beautiful they were. Like that picture of her right there is just like mesmerizing to me.
Well, you remember Olivia Hussey from, I think everybody remembers her from when they made you watch Romeo and Juliet in school.
Right.
And that was, I don't know her from much else, but yeah, I mean, she really is a great, almost iconic final girl here in that jumper that she wears, like this yellow one here through the end of the movie.
Yeah.
The slicked back dark brunette hair and the British accent.
Yeah, everything about her was just like you couldn't take your eyes off her. And it's just the vibe. We talked about this before. The 3 rules created here on Those Incredible 70s movies are scarier because everybody's smoking, everybody's hair looked weird, and everybody's car is beat up.
Yeah.
All 3 boxes were checked in here. But that phone, the prank caller, like what were those noises that guy was making?
Yeah. Yeah, that was wild. I think they had to have layered multiple tracks down there because it was like some gibberish.
Yeah, it was
speaking
just
in tongues,
jumping back and forth. And first it sounded like kids screaming, and then the guy, and then the like Dan Aykroyd in Neighbors. A little bit of all happening, but again, it is a straight up Christmas movie, and just like I don't know if I'd watch this unless it's between November 20th and January 1st. Like I would, if someone's like, let's watch this in the summer, I'm going to say, let's wait till Christmas.
I'm hoping I can make it through the remakes before the season's over, because I
Yeah.
want to see those.
Yeah, so the 2006 one was kind of panned, and I don't think there's a little bit of a cliffhanger in this movie, and it was never fully addressed, like what happened, right? Like it was a little bit of a swerve, and it was a cool swerve.
Right, because they don't shoot him at the end, right?
No, they don't, and that was sorry, my glasses have a piece of hair on it.
You want me to cut off the snow?
It's getting all in my white beard. I'm actually growing this until we go see Wolfman. This is like in honor of Wolfman, but yeah, they don't. Sorry, lost my train. Completely lost that.
By the way, let's do a Santa short here after the holiday. Just keep it growing.
Yeah, might as well, right?
We'll get some decorations half price on the day after Christmas.
That's the best time. You know, you buy your Halloween stuff on November 1st, and you buy your Christmas stuff on January 2nd.
100%.
That's just how you do it. We also had another classic legend in here. John Saxon was in here. I feel like he gives any movie he's in, it kind of gives this extra gravitas, if you will. Like, I don't even know if it's like exploitation. It just automatically kind of makes the movie feel tougher, scarier, just like next level. And just seeing those detectives go back and work. We were talking about this, right? Like, there's no internet. Like, there's no, like, let me do some research. Let me make some calls. Like, he was just sitting there, like, thinking.
Just think about it. That's how they used to solve crimes. Let me just sit here and think about the evidence.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, how good. And so, I mean, it was perfect to see that him try to do that straight up police work. The gut feeling comes from.
He just feels like a cop.
He does.
That's the thing is, that's why John Saxon adds the gravitas, because he feels like a cop. And once he enters the movie, it's like, oh, the cops are involved now. And it's John Saxon, so it's serious.
Yeah. He has an air of authority.
Does he play a cop in every movie?
Was he an undercover agent when he fought Bruce Lee? Was he an agent in that?
He was some kind of agent. Didn't he work for the U.S. government?
Yeah, he might have been an agent in there, but
Yeah.
certainly feel he was born in Brooklyn.
I don't have a picture of John Saxon. I wish I did.
Yeah, Enter the Dragon. I mean, there was just something in the 70s that was all about that. But did you know about the whole backstory with Bob Clark on this?
What's that?
About how he was. I don't even know what Bob Clark made besides Black Christmas and A Christmas Story.
And Porky's.
Porky's, that's right. That was what I was going to say. And then all of a sudden he made Porky's. I mean, he made three
Of the most important movies of all time?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good streak.
Right, because that was the beginnings of what was the genre you call that, the high school comedies type, right?
Yeah, the teen sex comedies.
Teen sex comedies.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he was in the mix with that too.
Yeah.
Now, granted, maybe two of these three movies might get him canceled today.
Yeah.
Other than A Christmas Story, but although this one didn't.
I don't know. Even A Christmas Story, where they just let it slide with that whole Chinese restaurant scene at the end.
Oh yeah.
People just let it slide. It's all right.
Yeah, they
Because
did.
it's on 24 hours a day, starting tonight at midnight.
Yeah,
or something.
that's right. So they did. You're right. They just kind of let that slide. It's
Yeah.
he's smiling at me. Oh man, those were different times. But yeah, I'd like to rewatch the remake. That's what we're talking about. There was a 2006 remake and then a 2019 reimagining. I don't think either one of these requels or sequels.
The Black Christmas?
yeah.
Well, I haven't seen them. I don't have no idea.
Yeah, that's what we need to find out, because this ending on a cliffhanger really just kind of got me thinking. Because who knew that this was supposed to be the spiritual origin story of Michael Myers?
Yeah.
But I mean, Michael Myers was a kid in there, but I don't know.
Not of Michael Myers, but of the Halloween film.
The film, right?
Yeah.
But this guy, so he would have been the guy that got out of
The mental
the
institution.
mental institution after that, and then he did it on Halloween.
On Halloween.
But he just stayed.
I would love to see that. They should make that.
They
but of course,
should.
maybe we'll get this when AI happens and takes over and starts creating everything.
Right.
We'll just get Black Christmas 2 starring Olivia Hussey set on Halloween. Would it be Black Halloween?
Oh man, I
Black Halloween's a gregreat title.
that is a really good title.
That would do well on Tubi.
It would do really well on Tubi. But yeah, I enjoyed it. Well, when are you going to stop watching Christmas? Do you watch, so what, between December 26th and January 1st, you can still watch them, right?
You can, but it's
starting to taper off.
It's on you, like how the spirit moves you.
Yeah.
You know, I think after Christmas Day, you're going to be less likely to click on that Christmas movie and, on whatever else instead.
Yeah.
But you can still squeeze in the stuff you want to see in that week. Because the thing is, the week between Christmas and New Year's is like Bermuda Triangle. Nothing happens. Nothing exists. There's no time.
Yeah.
There's no daylight or no dark. Everything is just blank.
It is. And people, whoever decides to stay open, if you're not like retail or restaurant, you're a lunatic. You're an absolute lunatic.
Yeah.
To do that. I wanted to catch the Alamo up in Lakeline. We're doing a master pancake theater they were doing for Christmas clips, but I did not make it up there in there. And then I was like, oh, I'll catch it again, but no, it's over, man. It's past. Better luck next year.
There's always next year. That's the thing about Christmas.
Yeah. And we'll save it and we'll wait till next year. But going through these Terror Tuesday and Weird Wednesday, do you want to jump through these, what we can call the 10 obscure Christmas movies, or would we call it 10 movies you didn't know were Christmas movies? What will the AI like better?
Let's just let the AI name it.
Yeah.
I think the idea is there.
Okay.
These are Christmas movies.
These are Christmas. Oh.
All right, there you see. I told you it's on top of it.
Wow.
It's on top of it.
The AI in the watch actually heard that. Man, I don't even have that turned on. That was impressive. Good job, AI.
Good job, AI. Well, I mean, like we were just at Terror Tuesday, and we had. Sorry, I got to pull in the graphics.
Yeah.
We were just at Terror Tuesday, and we realized watching that what this was going on, that actually Maniac.
Maniac is a Christmas movie.
Maniac is a Christmas movie. Joe Spinell, 1980. You wouldn't think it is, but why is it a Christmas movie?
There was one scene when he was going home that he was carrying a Christmas tree back into his Maniac apartment.
That's right. He brings a Christmas tree home.
He brings a Christmas tree into his Maniac apartment.
And the thing is, I mean, like we've talked about in the past about like East Coast slashers.
Yeah.
So, but it's clearly winter.
Yeah.
When this is going on.
It feels so cold and grimy, even when he was on the beach.
Yeah.
You know, the filmmaker pitched this as, what if Jaws was a man? And then they had that opening scene, and look, tell me that doesn't look like Jaws. He kind of actually found a way to embody a great white shark.
Now this was after Black Christmas too, right?
Yeah.
Because
this is 1980.
we get the Joe Spinell version of the heavy breathing.
Yeah.
Which I'm just gonna say is like super disturbing.
Yeah.
You know,
100%.
you get that heavy breathing. You know, he's obviously doing it, or like he's acting. But you can also hear in his heavy breathing that he's very unhealthy. And he's got a little bit of a wheeze going, you know?
Why is sleep apnea so scary?
And he's got a little bit of a at the bottom of it, you know?
He does, yeah.
It's a very layered, sort of like off-camera sound. The heavy breathing. I think that's probably the inspiration for the one in like Student Bodies.
Oh, Horsehead Bookends. That's... But you're right. There's just something about the way he carries himself. And let's face it, I mean, people in the 70s, there was no health kick. I mean, people probably didn't even know who Jack LaLanne is. He was just like, you didn't have fitness models. You had one guy, Jack LaLanne, that was doing jumping jacks on your TV and telling you can get into shape. And you can start, you too can like jump into the Hudson and pull a boat from New York to New Jersey.
Wait, who is this?
Jack LaLanne.
Okay, is this another thing that was on your local station?
Yeah, he was just like this crazy fitness guy. You got to search him up, and he was just on your TV telling you can be fit too. And he lived to like 80 something, but he was super fit. But now you have, dare I say, millions of Jack LaLannes, right?
Everybody with a camera. Not even a camera, a phone.
Yeah, if you're like, look, I went into a box gym for the first time in a long time, And at this point, the equipment might as well come with lighting and a camera mount because everybody's filming. Everybody's filming.
There's
There
Jack
he is.
LaLanne.
Jack LaLanne. The guy was a beast. He was probably the only person that was fit in the 70s, like until Arnold.
So I don't remember this guy at all.
No?
So this was probably something that was going on at the Mount Eislib local TV after March of the Wooden Soldiers. But yeah,
That's awesome. But yeah, there's just something about those guys like Joe Spinell. He checked all that. He looked like a typical New Yorker in the 70s.
he just drinks like a liter of gin and has clams casino. When I saw the rest that when they were at the Clams Casino in that in Maniac, that's where they're eating that one time.
Yeah.
I just went to scream Clams Casino. It was such a good.
No, it was, but great performance by him, and he wrote this in mind, and this was before, this was after Rocky, so he was already kind of known for being in Rocky, right? He was Rocky's agent. He had that feel.
He was in Taxi Driver as well.
He was in Taxi Driver.
So he was floating around the scene. He had some. Pretty sure he was in most of Martin Scorsese's early stuff. I feel like
It was a great Terror Tuesday, but also a very unknown. Like, did you know this was a Christmas movie? So shout out Joe, and a shout out to Blake. Go check out our shorts. We actually made Those Incredibles produced video for one of Blake's original songs that stars Joe Spinell.
yeah.
So go
Human
check
Taste,
that out.
it's
Yeah,
on
go
iTunes.
check that out. Go check that out. Human Taste. All right, next one. Was this a Terror Tuesday or a Weird Wednesday?
Which one?
Which one do you want to jump to next? Well, we don't have a lot to say about this next one, so let's jump to this one because we don't even know how it was a Christmas movie other than it just showed a tree at the end. Was it School of the Savage Beast?
School of the Holy Beast.
School of the Holy Beast.
This was Weird Wednesday.
Yeah, okay, that was Weird Wednesday.
Yes. This was how would you describe this movie?
Non-exploitation.
Nunsploitation, right?
Nunsploitation. And as somebody who went to Catholic school for a very long time, I've never seen this many hot nuns in one place.
Yeah.
So just like I had no idea about this genre.
Yeah.
This pinky genre that came around that time. And again, I had no idea it was going to be a Christmas movie until the climax, the finale
Yeah.
at the end when no spoilers. Can you give spoilers on this? I don't even know if
they're not going to be able to watch it. It doesn't.
No,
It's nowhere.
We were watching it and we had trouble keeping up. I had because the whole thing these were beautiful women, but as soon as they put on the habit, the Whoopi Goldberg back in the habit, and everybody almost just like they blended in, and you're like, wait, who's what now? But it was very unexpected, and then at the end, it was just like, oh, by the way, Christmas movie. Did you? And you're the one that picked this one out. Well, not picked it out, but you're the one. Hey, you want to check this out? We got lucky to see Werewolves before
Right.
that, and then you were sticking around for this, and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to stick around for that.
Yeah. Good. It's a rarity. You get a good double feature, back-to-back stuff to go watch. It was fun. That was my birthday, right?
Yeah, that was your birthday.
We wanted to check that out. But it's definitely a good watch. I was telling you after the movie, it's like I got the whole Quentin Tarantino vibe from it, like the way they cut the music harshly, like when the scene ends, the music just cuts with the film instead of like fading out or anything like that. They had the real the bright red blood paint as blood.
Yes.
Right.
They didn't have the Tom Savini doing the blood chemistry yet to figure out how to get it.
No, just like a bottle of paint. They just spill it on the floor.
Which even Tom Savini had that in Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah.
And he said he still hurts him to watch that. This was 1974, and I guess I think these types of movies are better to see. Most movies are better to see on the big screen, but this I would think I would have a lot more trouble watching this at home than I did in the theater.
Yeah.
You need no distractions. You need to be knee deep in it.
Yeah. I think, and Japanese movies from time to time just require a commitment. They usually have a big payoff, like this one did.
Huge
But
payoff.
they require your patience to sit there and wait, let us build this up.
There was a couple of scenes in there that, yeah, those were highly cancelable offenses here. But I'm gonna go on record right here on YouTube, which is legal record, that this was that we've been through revenge movies before, but this level of commitment to this level of revenge that the main character takes on her antagonist is like nothing you'll ever see before, and you may never see again.
Yeah, or you may never want to.
Yeah, I don't know if you never want to see it again.
Yeah,
because I did
probably
not see that coming. Because as it was happening, we had that. It was, you might as well have had that castle gif going when you're like, the gif I'm talking about. Because there's like, wait, like you knew it was happening, but your brain wouldn't process of like, this can't be happening. This is not what I think it is. And then she was like, boom. And then we're like, wait, what? Like that level of commitment to that revenge was like nothing I've ever seen before.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas.
It's barely, you can barely touch it. Like to describe it. You're just going to have to watch it.
No, I was like, it would be so hard and it would not do it justice.
Yeah.
Look, this is like, we have stuff like, Sleepaway Camp, The Crying Game. I think this is higher, right?
Yeah. Well, if you've seen Old Boy, you'll be ready for it.
Old Boy, yeah. You told me about. Oh, yeah, okay. Which by the way, I got to put that back on my list. The OG, right? Not the James.
Do not watch the Josh Brolin remake. No.
So just go to the OG
like
one.
Do not even bother to compare them.
Okay.
That's how bad it is.
All right.
Yeah, but yeah, like I said, it's great when these things are, curated and put on the big screen. It's just, especially around the season now where it's kind of all we've got is cartoons and, Digital Lions kind of playing all the time.
Yeah.
So, give us nice curated repertory type stuff that's borderline offensive and cancelable.
Yeah, I love like when they go up there in the beginning and they give you a warning that like, remember, this was made in 1974.
Yeah.
And just like, and I know you're going to laugh, but you shouldn't laugh, but you're probably going to laugh.
They need that warning in front if you show Jingle All the Way.
Yeah.
Like, for real, they're going to have to put that in there.
But I think if you can't, anything beyond the WWE, if you made it through the WWE Attitude Era, anything after that, when it turned into the PG era, movie-wise, you'd be like, you might be a little taken back and you might need this warning.
Yeah.
But some of us would be like, let's just let it rip, man. Sorry. Mel Brooks was Mel Brooks. Let it rip. So, all right. So, yeah, that was another... Did you know this was a Christmas movie? So, next up, do you want to do I Come in Peace? I Come in Peace is a Christmas movie.
Now, why is this one a Christmas movie?
So this was a great story. So, and by the way, I had no idea that this is part of an incredible trilogy, a spiritual trilogy, but the director's trilogy with I Come in Peace, Stone Cold, and Action Jackson.
Yeah.
Like that what a trilogy that is.
That's a great resume.
Yeah. But the great thing about this was shot right our sibling city, if you will, Houston, Texas. And you're like, you might notice all the Christmas decorations that are up, right? Yeah. And they don't really address it in the movie. And he's like, guess when this was filmed? This was filmed in March. So why are there Christmas decorations? So the director made a conscious choice that we're going to make this shot around Christmas and then just not address it.
Yeah.
But as soon as you see the lights, the flickering lights, and the decoration, it's a Christmas movie.
Well, to be fair, that's a fairly common technique, right? Shane Black does that in most of his movies.
Right.
It's just happens to be Christmas. It's not integral to the plot. Now, maybe there was a scene where Dolph Lundgren was at Black Friday or something before, trying to capture something, and then that got cut out.
Yeah, that could have very well been.
But I think I can totally see a director just saying, I want this movie to be set at Christmas.
Which, in all fairness, right? These are life scenarios that happen. Life doesn't stop in December. December is probably very drama-bound. Like, there's probably if it's colder out, there's going to be less crimes, right? Because it's like it's too cold to crime.
Yeah,
You know, that
I
was
mean, you
always
can
my
wear
dad's
cooler.
theory.
You can wear nice jackets in the winter.
Yeah, and
They
these
look a lot
guys had
cooler.
these fantastic, leather trench coats that were in effect here that were so good. This was a lab print that was never screened anywhere, and it actually came up with the original title on it, which was Dark Angel, that popped up on here.
Yeah,
But what a great, simple Dolph Lundgren premise. Just like
what's the premise again?
the premise is that this alien is just basically a dealer that comes to this planet, and he has a way to transmute the drug of choice here into an even more rare drug that's very valuable on his planet. So he's kind of like, so say a chemist here would go to somewhere in the forest and find this rare bean or a rare thing that grows on a tree. But he does this, but the way he does it is are you allowed to say the word? It's the one that starts with H that you shoot up, right? And then what he does is he takes that and he puts it in another human's body, and then another thing comes flying out and hits him in the head, and whatever's going on in their brain, it extracts that chemical from the brain. Now that is the drug of choice.
Right.
And he can make a lot of money on there. So he lands here to basically start harvesting that. So he jumps in the middle of one of Dolph Lundgren's big undercover scores. And then he's followed by another alien, which is like a cop alien that is going to be there just to chase him. Now, the whole I come in peace thing, the only thing that I liken it to is Mars Attacks when they figure we come in peace. I think that was like an homage to this, because I think him saying I come in peace is so you don't run, because he doesn't feel like chasing you.
Right.
So he's like, I come in peace.
he just learned one bit of language.
Yeah,
there.
he learned that word, and it was great. And dude, I got to tell you that this crowd was hot for this movie.
I bet.
This crowd was hot for this movie.
I mean,
and
that
they
just
were
sounds
cheering.
like a movie you get with a lot of laugh lines,
Yeah, you had
a lot
this
of cheer lines.
the straight edge cop. You had Dolph being Dolph. You know, they had the buddy cop chemistry where they were competitive at the end. But when that line happened, and he says, "I come in peace," and Dolph says, "You go in pieces, asshole," the crowd popped as loud as it did when Steve Rogers picked up Mjolnir. When he picked up Thor's hammer, the crowd popped for that line. And it was very cool. But it was a great movie, other than it's just like, it's in Houston, which is known, man,
Houston at Christmas.
Houston, shout out to Houston. I mean, because it has the same RoboCop vibe there in this movie.
Yeah.
Why was Houston such a futuristic movie at this time period of late 80s, early 90s?
Yeah.
Because this was 1990, a few years after RoboCop.
Maybe they had the RoboCop 2 sets left.
Yeah, maybe there was just
Let me
something
borrow,
about
let me borrow some of these props.
maybe something about it. Maybe the way the lights hit the building.
Yeah.
I mean, I just
Very industrial. They had a lot of like brand new structures, brutalist structures, as they say.
maybe they too were a fan of Urban Cowboy when Bud's mistress Pam, her dad works and is like, my daddy says this is the prettiest city in the whole world, and it was just Houston.
Yeah.
So maybe maybe they're just marks for that, but something about it just worked. But you wouldn't think, Christmas movies, you kind of think cold, but I mean, full disclosure, it's Texas. I mean, we're in shorts today.
Yeah.
You're not going to get that cold, but he did find a way to make it feel like cold, because the space dealer and the space cop were
Is
both.
he the Dark Angel?
That's a good question. Who is the dark angel?
Is he the Dark Angel, or is it the drug that's the Dark Angel?
I want to say it has to be the drug, unless it's Dolph, because Dolph breaks the rules.
Well, he's not very dark, but he is a brunette in this
Yeah,
one.
he dyed his hair for this in this movie.
Yeah.
And it had a great, even though I think it was 1990, but it had the great freeze shot ending, kind of like the at the end, and then the credits start rolling. They had Dolph and his partner and the girl, the damsel in distress, and they had that freeze shot there. But cool movie, great title. Also probably benefits really, again, all movies benefit from no distractions, but it was really enjoyable to see this
Yeah.
unknown Christmas movie right around Christmas time.
I'm bummed I missed that one. But like, yeah, I was always a fan of this movie. This was one where maybe this is, I don't know about you, but this is like this is one you saw the trailer while you were standing at the video store waiting for something else.
Yes.
And this
100%.
trailer would roll, and you're like, "What is this?"
Yeah.
And you'd see that, and you'd be like waiting for that tape to come out. And it was one of those ones where they'd only get like one copy.
Yeah. Because you might have missed it when it showed at the Dollar Theater.
Yeah.
Because this was something I was like, I can't believe that I didn't see this at the Dollar Theater.
Yeah. I remember seeing the trailer at the Dollar Theater as well, but I don't think I ever got to see this in the theater.
Oh man. Well, I think if it comes around again, it's definitely worth it.
Yeah.
But very good. Also an unknown Christmas movie.
That's a solid one. I do want to watch that.
Yeah.
Let's see where I want to see where that's streaming. But anyway,
what do we got next? I don't remember. I know we talked about a few. Let's bring up the Shane Black ones because you brought up a really good point. Because I think technically he has a couple of movies that are technically, like you said, considered Christmas movies around Christmas.
well, look, I mean, his first script, the big one, Lethal Weapon,
Yeah.
100% Christmas movie, belongs in the conversation with Die Hard every time this comes up.
Yeah. You made a great short with this, by the way. I got to plug our shorts again.
Yeah, we got to push those out. To me, like, this feels every much as a Christmas movie as Die Hard. I don't know why Die Hard is so much more beloved. Maybe the subject matter on this one is a little heavy. You got mental illness and
Yeah.
suicidal thoughts. Which if you read the script is it was even a lot darker.
I can imagine that.
You
Yeah.
know. I don't know, and depending on which version you see, I don't know. Do you watch this movie ever, or?
I actually watched half of it the other day.
Okay, did you watch the version? Did it have the scene, that extra scene where Riggs, before there's another scene where he stops another shooter before he ever meets Murtaugh, and he just like walks in and he's not afraid to get shot. The guy's shooting out the window.
Oh no, I don't think I've seen that one.
That's in like the director's cut back when they used to do that.
And that's the opening scene?
It's not the opening scene. It's just in between Riggs in the trailer and before he meets Murtaugh.
Oh, okay.
And it's like another call, and it's just another scenario where he just doesn't care if he gets shot or not. So he just walks right. They got a sniper shooting out a window. He just walks right up to him and like takes him out. And it's just like,
wow.
You get sort of that very, very on the nose line where the detective is just like, you're out of your mind, but you're good. Anyway, depending on which version you want, that makes it even darker before the movie even kicks off. I think these movies are always remembered as being like a little bit of a comedy, right?
Oh, 100%. There were so many things, like, I'm not sure if you should have been laughing. I mean, well, the whole selling Christmas trees in the very beginning, and then he leans into the whole, he's a mark for the Three Stooges, right?
Yeah.
Like it kind of made you laugh.
Yeah.
And I just remember my dad, like, laughing so much. He was a cop too, but he's
yeah.
The whole thing of just like trying to talk down the jumper, and then he's just like, "Do you really want to jump? Let's do it, man. Let's." Like, I don't know why, like, it got such a loud pop. And then when he got off, he was like, "Woo-hoo! Woo! Woo!" He's like, "Get me off! That's crazy!" Like, people were laughing hysterically at that.
I mean, it was funny. It was funny in the trailer. It made sense, and it was one of those ideas that was sort of burgeoning, a little bit of almost like a right wing law enforcement. You know what I mean? It's just like let's just jump them off, just throw them off.
I think you're right. That would have been the kind of the thing, like, let's just jump. And that was a good swerve back then too, because you had no idea when he did. And I think the trailer kind of leaned into that too. Like, you had no idea that there was going to be a crash mat there.
Yeah.
Right?
No, they definitely didn't spoil that. But, it started with Lethal Weapon, and I feel like every movie Shane Black has done is set at Christmas.
Yeah.
We were talking about, right after this came The Last Boy Scout. That was a Christmas movie.
Another great one.
Then you had, we were talking about Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
Iron Man 3. Long Kiss Goodnight.
That's right. That was also, that's 5.
Every movie he does is set at Christmas. It's just his thing. I could pull up his list, but I'm pretty sure anyone you pick is going to have some sort of a Christmas setting.
I think we need a Shane Black Christmas special, right?
Sure.
I think we 100% need that. I would love to have him curate some videos or something, or even just make a new Christmas special, just like an action-packed special.
Yeah. You think in Shane Black's mind it's just always Christmas? Yeah. That he loves Christmas so much?
You might be right. It might. I mean, it gets people in the zone, right?
Yeah. Anyway, we were watching Lethal Weapon. Sorry, did I cut you off?
No, go ahead.
Watching Lethal Weapon and Die Hard back to back. I think Lethal Weapon is just leaps and bounds ahead of Die Hard.
Interesting.
As far as just like having a story that sort of holds your attention and that you can revisit, I feel like once you know the twists in Die Hard, it starts to lose its watchability. That's my. But I mean, Die Hard's still great.
It is, and we were talking about this earlier too. And Die Hard 2 is just as good.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know. These movies are like two titans of action.
Yeah.
That it really is hard to. They're very similar, but set very different.
Yeah.
Very different too. But I've never felt like I would pick one more than one over the other. But I see what you're saying. Like our buddy Ashley, loved Die Hard, and we did a special with that. I don't know what made Die Hard run ahead of the pack, and just like now, you can get a lawn inflatable. That's the Nakatomi Plaza.
Yeah.
With him jumping off it with the fire hose tied around him.
Yeah.
And I'm on the hunt to try to find that because I need that on my lawn next year.
Yeah.
I don't know what made that one movie go ahead.
Was it the Needle Drops? Maybe
It could have been.
it's got a few good ones.
Like, does it have more? Because I know Lethal Weapon has Christmas.
You've got Christmas in Hollis,
That was huge.
and you've got White Christmas at the end.
Yeah.
But you've also got in the score. The score's got like sleigh bells in it.
Yes,
Throughout
that's
the
true.
movie.
So it's even like a subliminal Christmas score
Yeah.
that's in there.
And plus, it takes place at a Christmas party. So yeah, it's pretty on the nose.
All right.
That's the thing. It's like there's not even any discussion. I don't know why that's even. They argue about that.
Yeah.
As far as Lethal Weapon, Christmas is not really part of the plot.
No, it's just this is happening.
It's
at
just the
Christmas.
season, yeah. And honestly, they don't really much acknowledge Christmas until the last scene.
Yeah, and that's when they really lean into it.
Yeah. Anyway, I just think it's so fun. I mean, obviously, like a lot of 80s movies, there's things in this movie that are a little bit of their time and would probably offend some folks now. But you just got to let that slide, I guess. I don't know. Explain it to your kids. That's how cops talked back then.
Yeah.
They're cops. They had salty language.
I mean, it's a movie. Like, you can't. I feel like what you resist will persist. The more you try to hide something, the more likely it's going to find its way like a beach ball you're trying to hold underwater.
Yeah.
I'm going to push it here. Well, now it's going to go into your legs and it's going to come out the back end.
Yeah.
Let's just talk about it. Let's just let it come to the top and let's just talk about it.
Yeah.
What's right and what's wrong. Or what is conceived of what is right versus what is
But
wrong.
if you were in a Christmas mood, just the entire Shane Black filmography.
Dude, now that you say
that
that,
on.
I mean, it's like the whole thing. You can just let this run around the clock.
Yeah.
Who is programmed? Like, I know cable channels aren't the same as they used to be. They're not, but they're still out there.
Yeah.
TBS and TNT don't have to be the ones that just have the dominate 24 hours of a Christmas story.
Yeah.
I think USA tried to lean into it with Elf. Is there a channel like Spike TV that are like just play these Shane Black movies around the clock at Christmas?
Yeah, if you can license them and make it great. I feel like something like IFC would do that.
Yeah, why not?
They'll program. I'm a fan of cable. I enjoy the programming. Even like paid channels, I like the effort they put into it where they try to arrange their films in an order that makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, somebody like IFC, let's put that together. The Shane Blackathon.
That would be great.
Surely someone has done that.
Remember TBS in the wrestling days, and they used to be movies for guys who like movies.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like, it kind of leans into it, but this doesn't have to be just guy movies. This can be just like, this is movies that, these cool, badass stories happening around Christmas time.
Boom.
Let's book it.
Book it.
Book it. All right, let's go back to another, way back in 1999. hot on the heels, or of the vibe, I should say, of Pulp Fiction. Did you know that Go is a Christmas movie?
Go is a Christmas movie.
Go is a Christmas movie. The 1999 crime comedy film written by John August and directed by Doug Liman, with intertwining plots in the vibe of Pulp Fiction. But there it is right there.
This is, back when after Pulp Fiction was a hit, we had a lot of movies that had that sort of anthology structure.
Yeah.
And this was one of those, one of the better ones, I think.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Was this a hit?
This was a hit. I think it was a hit on VHS. It was a hit for sure on once it was released at home. But I'm not sure how well it did. Yeah, it underperformed at the box office, but it was critically acclaimed and found a nice niche for itself in the home video market. And we had a young Katie Holmes, a young Timothy Oliphant, who also is sporting a beautiful gray beard these days. And then it had Jay Moore, Scott Wolf, Sarah Pauly. I mean, this is Breckin Meyer. Can you say 1999 without saying the number is 1999? Listen to that cast.
Very young Melissa McCarthy's in there.
That's right. She's in there too.
Yeah.
Remember I told you the mysterious tape that I found on my desk, and it was a VHS tape, and it said, "Please give to Jeffrey," and it was in my mom's handwriting. And I told you I finally put it in the VCR, and it was somebody recorded over it, and it was Go. So that's how I got to watch Go again. So whatever message from beyond that my mom tried to send to me was erased by Go.
Maybe she really wanted you to watch Go.
It might have been Go, might have been the message. Like, hey, time is not linear, and I'm going to prove it to you by showing you this awesome movie where time is not linear.
See, you're always able to read into things like that. That's good. That's good.
No, but but I love it.
I remember seeing this in the theater. I was excited to watch this. I remember having the CD, like in the soundtrack. I was a fan of Dawson's Creek, so I was excited to see Katie Holmes in something new.
Yeah.
This movie's great.
It really is.
And this one really does lean into the Christmas vibe of it. This is like in the vein of Die Hard.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, like you said, look, those pictures right there. I mean, that screams Christmas. Like it was the anthology of it. They had a nice Christmas vibe in all of them. But man, I just can't tell. It kind of pushed. It was very shocking because they used to call it like, Pulp Fiction light. And I mean, look, anything is going to be lighter than Pulp Fiction because that's like heavy. The Gimp stuff is like heavy. But this was still pretty. Like this, I wouldn't call it like. It's almost like the accidental comedy because there's still a lot of crime going on.
That's what a lot of Pulp or Tarantino kind of influences. They'd add crime threads into their films, right?
Yeah,
something like that.
And you can't. I mean, and it's a great poster. I'm surprised they didn't lead into the Christmas on the poster, but that poster just screams 1990. Like I can see, I can feel the video store. Just looking at that Go box that's on there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just the 3 different stories. The rave in there. Getting hit by... there's a character who gets hit by a car, and that's pretty aggressive. That's another one of the things that's like... That wasn't like funny.
But miraculously, she's fine at the end.
Yeah.
She just has a stomachache.
Oh, man. But yeah, very, very good movie. And after finding out the other day, it actually... held up pretty well. I had no idea. So Doug Liman actually, I always get confused and think Jon Favreau directed Swingers, but he didn't. He wrote it. I didn't know Doug Liman actually was the actual director, though.
Yeah, that's right.
So he said, he did Swingers in '96, and he was going to direct Heartbreakers next, but he went with Go instead. And Go was cool because it was, again, that was, Quentin Tarantino talks about it a lot, where... how he doesn't like a lot of 80s cinema. He thought they kind of, copped out or whatever. And he felt like his 90s wave of filmmakers that came around kind of changed the game again.
Yeah.
This has to be in the conversation of one of those movies that feels like that. I mean, I know you can talk about Desperado. You can talk about Clerks. You can talk about Pulp Fiction. But, man, I think of this movie. I think of Orange County. Of like these ones that like, okay, now that the gauntlet was thrown down by these guys, and now they're coming up with these second films. You had these next wave of like late 90s films that were like, man, they just bring you back, man. They're bookmarked in time. I enjoyed it, even though it bombed at the box office. I think it's going to do really well on streaming or at home. Is that Y2K movie? And it's the same thing, because I was just like, I forgot it. Just when a movie has the ability to take you back to a time period, it's just like it's magic. That's movie magic that it's hard to replicate. Y2K did it consciously and succeeded in bringing you back, but these movies were made in that time period and still hold up. And who just said that? I think, was it Kevin Smith that said it? It's just like, I only want to see a new movie. It's just like, did you see this yet? No. Well, then it is a new movie. It's new to you. I don't know who was saying that to, but Go would be one of those movies that I feel like you can recommend to a lot of people, and then be like, oh man, that was good.
Yeah, I think it's definitely sort of a hidden gem for a lot of folks if you haven't seen that one. I mean, I think if you were of the time and sort of into Tarantino, it's almost like the last big Tarantino imitation, you know?
Yeah.
And it's the one that like finally got it right,
Yeah.
you know, and they kind of nailed it. But by that time, folks had seen so many imitations, they might have just passed on it.
I know, and that's a shame. I would love to hear his thoughts on it, because I know he has a rule that he doesn't like to review newer movies, but that one, I would love to hear his take on it.
Yeah.
I mean, as somebody who's the master of homage, and like you said, he's the greatest cinema mind of our time, and he had somebody that just did a wink, wink, nod, nod. I didn't rip you off, but I kind of used the template. I kind of like drove my car on the road you paved for me.
Yeah.
Like, how do you feel about this?
He probably gets it, because it was probably one of those things where the studio said, hey, can you make us a Pulp Fiction? How much was Pulp Fiction? We'll give you that much. Can you make one? And they just ran with it.
And they did, yeah. So,
But good movie.
good Christmas movie.
Definitely check it out.
Yeah,
Not
watch.
like with your family. Don't put this on for your grandma, you know, and your younger nephews or whatever.
Yeah.
It's not for them, you know. But if you are going to put something on and you want to like entertain, I think, multiple generations, you know, Violent Night, that's a great one.
Oh yeah, I just saw a little short about that. That David Harbour gave a wink, wink, nod, nod, and he said, "Hold on, I know people have been asking me for a sequel. Just brace yourself; it's going to be worth it."
Yeah, I'm sure. I can't wait for that. That was part of our marathon the other day too. Good movie. I love. I feel like the inspiration for that one as I'm watching it is like, let's make Die Hard.
Die Hard with the Santa Claus.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's the same structure almost, a lot of the same gimmicks, and they also said, well, while we're making Die Hard, let's throw Home Alone in there,
Right.
and have that, which makes a lot of sense because when you think about it, you know, Home Alone is Die Hard for kids.
Yes.
We've talked about that.
Another great short you made.
Yeah, but yeah, a lot of good stuff. I think that one really holds up. I'm surprised more people don't watch it on the regular. Is it just because it's so gory?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it was. Yeah. Well, I mean, we were there day one. It was great to see in theaters, and it is great to visit every year. And David Harbour, he's good, man. He's doing a lot of good stuff. He's voicing Frankenstein and Creature Commando. Obviously, he's Red Guardian. He's Stranger Things is coming out next year, so he's taking advantage of his time to shine.
Yeah, for sure. And if you get on that sort of like ultra violent trip, you can always revisit Terrifier 3.
Yeah,
which said, I mean, we said we wouldn't talk about it, but I mean, it's there. We gotta acknowledge that it just entered the chat, right?
Yeah, it did.
Like, for good. I think, will we see people on a yearly basis watching this to challenge themselves to watch it? Like, like I said, you want to watch someone else's reaction to this? Is that what this is going to become?
That's what it is becoming. Because I mean, I clearly was doing that. I was watching people's reactions for it.
Yeah.
But it is going to be like we're kind of spoiled to it in the sense now, right? Because that was this year's drop. It came at Halloween, but it had the Christmas vibe. It's become like. He was already a kind of a Halloween icon, just like every other horror movie character is a Halloween icon.
Yeah.
he found a way to become like Jack Skellington, where he's just like the Nightmare Before Christmas, where now I'm going to watch this at Christmas and I'm going to watch this at, Halloween just because of the vibe of it.
Yeah.
But, 5 years from now, are you going to remember, are you going to think of it more as a Halloween movie, or exactly what it is, him going at it with Santa? You're going to think it's a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
20 years from now.
Yeah.
When people are watching on their version of Terror Tuesday, it's going to be a Christmas movie.
Yeah, and if folks are watching this, is it going to be, is it going to remain a holiday classic? Is it going to be the new Die Hard?
Yeah, that is
because we don't have a Die Hard substitute. People still hold on to, you go to Target and they got Die Hard stuff.
Yeah.
But like, is now, we already have Art the Clown stuff in the Halloween stores every year.
Yeah.
So are we going to get a Santa art?
Santa art.
Yeah.
Would you? Yeah, an inflatable of Art the Clown.
Yeah, like this, like this image
on your lawn?
Inflatable on your lawn.
It's like nothing that you'll ever seen before, this movie, for sure. It raised, like, Terrifier 2 was already like nothing you've seen before.
Yeah.
But I think setting this at Christmas with some of the things that he does definitely elevated everything about this movie. That really just, like, whether you're like it or don't like it or you're terrified of it, by bringing in Santa Claus and the dressing and everything about it, it was a very, very bold move.
And as we were rewatching Black Christmas the other day, I was getting all the Damien Leone vibes. Like, you could just tell how much he loves that movie.
Yeah.
That whole opening scene plays very much like Black Christmas.
Yeah.
And I told you, like, there's something about the way they do the exposure on the Christmas lights. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, you were telling me about
it's
that.
like the way they expose the Christmas lights. I think Damien Leone was going for that too. But just this adds like an eerie vibe,
It does. We know. We're marked for lights. Like, we have lights all year long. It creates a vibe.
Yeah.
And if you find a way as a filmmaker to, like, transform that vibe onto the screen shoot it to your audience, as you would put it. It makes you feel it. It's kind of like the only other thing you can like it to is, like, finding a way to, when it's raining on screen, to make you feel like somehow you're going to get wet.
Right.
Or like Hateful Eight, which we were trying to debate, would that be considered a Christmas movie because it dropped at Christmas? Were you not freezing when you were watching Hateful Eight? Because everything about it just felt so cold.
Yeah.
And freaking what's her name? Domergue had so many coats on.
Yeah.
Like, how many coats did they have?
They're just wearing like an animal skin.
Daisy Domergue had so many.
It's just like an animal skin with armholes.
And it just found a way to transfer that cold. So I think the lights kind of do the same thing.
Yeah.
And maybe are we just all bug moths drawn to the flame that is these flickering lights?
I think, yeah, for sure.
You're the director. You would have to say that. That's got to be something that you teach you, right? The lighting is so important, but not just obviously for lighting up the characters, but how they're lit up, and then how it's lit around everything. It's
definitely a conscious choice. It's just like they're almost like over bright,
Yeah.
They stand out in the scene, and it just really almost like overemphasizes the fact that it's Christmas time.
Man, and then, like, probably 2 years later, unconscious to this, and not even knowing this movie existed, my Cabbage Patch Christmas gift that I wanted so desperate was a Light Bright. And that Light Bright gave me that same exact feeling of just like, it's just a sailboat with these colorful plugs that are in there, but just like seeing it on your desk, you're like, yeah, look how that black construction paper is really jumping out of you now.
I can leave a note. Be right back.
Just like, oh, man. But yeah. So, yeah. Terrifier definitely, I think, kind of leaned into that. And like you talked about, we were just talking about the end of Lethal Weapon. There was just something about, when he whistles for the dog and he's going into Murtaugh's house and you saw his light decorations.
Yeah.
It was, those lights were very warm Christmas lights. Like when you see somebody's porch, it makes the house feel warm and inviting. And for the first time, Riggs kind of felt that warm and inviting feeling, like come on in.
Yeah,
Where-
because yeah, the beginning of that movie is like extremely dark. Remember, he's watching Bugs Bunny with a gun to his head.
yeah, my God, that's right.
Like a movie like that, they put a warning in front of it now
Yeah, there you couldn't do it.
all the time. Anyway, but yeah, Terrifier 3 is in the chat.
You can see a special screening on like December 24th. Tomorrow.
Totally go see it. Take somebody you love or somebody you hate, and tell them you're taking them to a Christmas movie, because it's either going to be, you're either just going to be all in and you're going to be laughing at how horribly violent it is, or you're going to be sick.
Or you're gonna run out of the theater like we've
Yeah.
seen people do.
You're going to go straight to church.
Oh man, awesome. What else do we have on the list?
Okay, real quick, I have just like two more here.
All right, yeah, let's do.
But this one again is a little bit of a non-traditional, very much a non-traditional. This movie just screams the holidays to me, and it's a lot of fun to watch. I don't know. It just sort of like sneaks by, and I think a lot of the jokes in it probably are from another time. It's one of those. But Trading Places.
Oh yeah. Look at that.
Dan Aykroyd. And like ever since I saw the Saturday Night movie, I've kind of looked at Dan Aykroyd in a different light.
Very different light. Right? Very different light.
And like, I feel like you forget how awesome he was, like very early in his career. Just like he could play like the everyman, and he could play like the crazy.
Yeah.
They made him look so cool in Saturday Night.
They did. Like, yeah, he was like a gigolo, man. Fred Garvin, male prostitute.
Yeah. And he was dating everybody on the show. He was the drug expert. Anyway, back to Trading Places. The premise of Trading Places itself is almost like A Christmas Carol. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You've got the rich, spoiled banker who doesn't, all he cares about is money and status, and he is forced to swap lives with a poor beggar, played by Eddie Murphy. I need an Eddie Murphy picture. Anyway, as they swap lives, they learn about each other's lives, and they sort of like grow as people during the holidays. I mean, it's a very Christmassy
100%
movie. Of course, you've got prostitutes and drugs and all that stuff, but that was just standard for 80s comedies, right?
Right. And it was Jamie Lee. So come on.
Yeah.
We leaned into it. But what show was I just watching? And they quoted this because they did the "Looking Good, Billy Ray, Feeling Good, Lewis." Oh, I just saw that in a show, and it just all came screaming back. I was like, Trading Places.
I don't know.
I mean, this was, like you said, this was peak for all of these. Peak Eddie Murphy, right? Like, he was, like, every movie he was in became a hit. Mm-hmm. And you had Dan Aykroyd, who was,
Wasn't he, like, 18 here or something?
Yeah, he was so young when he made it on SNL.
Yeah.
He was so young when he was on there. Like, yeah, what year was...
There's Eddie. All right. And we've got the Dukes as well.
The Dukes. It was the Dukes. It was the Dukes.
Here's a bit of a downer story about this, but this is the one John Landis did right after the accident on Twilight Zone.
Oh, he did?
And this was like maybe he channeled his bad juju, but like I guess he really needed a movie immediately. He wanted to do something different, get away from horror, and he got this movie and just put all his power into it.
And
all his will. And of course, it's a forever classic.
Yeah, and it sucks. I mean, what happened with that? But yeah,
Merry Christmas.
1983. This was peak. I mean, Jamie Lee, Eddie Murphy, and Dan Aykroyd. And you really forget about the star power of these actors back then, especially the ones coming off of SNL. Yeah. Like now, it's kind of like you watch SNL, and there's a lot of good comedians that go through there, and you may not see them again.
Yeah.
But like back then, like they were just like the casts were like smaller, much more known, but when they came out, they were going to come out swinging.
Yeah.
Like everybody was going to be Will Ferrell, on that first cast. And then the second one, there was like, what are we going to do now in the next era? And then Eddie Murphy just came along. So this was like a Hulk Hogan and Macho Man, like the superpowers coming together of the two generations of SNL coming together from this great comedy with, the pedigree of Jamie Lee Curtis and just like a great story around Christmas. And yeah, I mean, I
Well,
think
also
it nailed
you've
it.
got Don Amici, Ralph Bellamy. They were like huge actors,
Classically
right?
trained
They're
actors,
classically
right? Yeah.
well-known actors. So this movie had a pretty broad appeal.
Yeah.
Now it does have Dan Aykroyd in blackface. Let's just trust that. Okay, that was just maybe look in retrospect, that wasn't the right choice.
No.
Maybe. Okay.
I mean,
but
C.
whatever.
Thomas Howell made a whole movie in blackface.
Also not a good idea.
Roddy Piper came out with half blackface in WrestleMania 6 against Bad News Brown. It was different times.
Yeah.
It was different times.
Okay. Well, I mean, a pro wrestling match is one thing, but like a
movie,
major
yeah.
motion picture with a campaign behind it.
Can we just find that year that we're
Can you just even imagine the guy he painted himself black so he could steal a scholarship?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? That's
Can we just do something where we find the exact year where we're just like, okay, look, everything before this year.
Put a
has
warning on it.
Yeah, disclaimer. This was made before 1999.
Yeah.
That's sorry.
they didn't have the internet. There was nothing.
No.
They just had to guess. So
And we watched these movies. I mean, this was our internet. We just watched these movies over and over again.
yep.
And somebody even took the time to ask Google, is Trading Places a good film? I mean, this is a good comedy. It's
I could answer that.
You know?
I think it's a great film. I mean, again, it's very Christmassy. It has a really positive message, and I think it's that money matters more than anything.
Yeah. And good. I mean, and it was definitely the 80s, so you had to have good triumph over evil, right?
Yeah.
And they did. You know,
Yeah.
the bankers.
They
now.
taught the bankers a lesson.
Yeah.
And what makes this movie really work well is the double swerve at the end where they join forces on the Dukes. That's what gives us the payoff. This makes this such a great movie.
Oh yeah,
because I think you were anticipating that they would just switch back and they'd settle their differences. Oh, I learned a lot from this, but instead they just team up, take on the Dukes, and just whatever,
and then win. And
Yeah.
that $1. Mm-hmm. That was really good. No, this is a great choice. I'm glad you brought this up.
Yeah,
because it's pinnacle 1983. It's everything about it, the vibe about it. Yeah, everything about it. And these guys had a cameo in an Eddie Murphy movie later, right? Because everyone always wanted to see a sequel.
Oh yeah, they were in Coming to America.
Right? They were panhandling.
That's right.
So
That's
they
right.
just completely lost everything.
In the John
back
Landis
then.
verse.
Yeah, that is the John Landis verse.
Looking at looking at Dan Aykroyd though in this costume, don't you just always think about a big wet white fish full of Santa beard here?
You do, man.
That was just like that whole scene where he crashes the Christmas party and he's filling his pockets up with food. I don't know. I feel that.
No, you do. I mean, the range of Dan Aykroyd back then to do that, and Eddie Murphy, really, right, to just have that swap like they did.
Yeah,
it was really good. Well, even according to Google, it's especially good because it doesn't stop with sitcom manipulations of its ideas, and it doesn't go for the obvious points about racial prejudice in America.
Yeah.
Instead, it develops the quirks and peculiarities of its characters so they're funny because of who they are.
right.
Right?
Like this has a more positive message than Jingle All the Way.
Yes.
This I would recommend this above Jingle All the Way as a family film, but you have to explain to the kids what blackface is and why you shouldn't do it in the movie. But when it gets to the end,
Okay, AI, I'm just going to say, please book back that as a short, please.
but
Oh, that's great.
very rewatchable. It's just it's got a great arc. Love the ending. It's a classic. It's a Christmas classic. I think I
Nice.
want to watch that next.
You make me want to watch it for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's streaming. It's a Paramount movie, so I'm sure it's streaming on
Oh
Paramount.
yes, we love Paramount.
Yeah.
I'm really just digging the smaller streamers now.
Yeah, I agree.
They're a lot better.
And Paramount, you can sneak Showtime in there too, right?
Yeah, that's. I mean, they just throw it in for free.
All right.
That's great. But yeah, check out Trading Places, kids.
Did not know it was a Christmas movie. We got one more.
Last one was this is definitely a Christmas movie, but I think this is just another one like Terrifier 3 that just sort of like joined the ranks. and it was a streamer, so I don't think a lot of people caught it. Well, no, because it got some Oscar noms. But I just think this one, I just rewatched it, and it is The Holdovers.
Oh yeah,
The Holdovers, I think it should be a new Christmas classic if it's not on its way to becoming one.
dude. You're fantastic. Mario Machete Cut is fantastic at movie recommendations that he would tell you need to see this, and if he tells you need to see this, trust him. You're not going to go wrong. And you did that with.
And don't watch the trailer before you watch it.
Yeah.
Just go in cold.
Just go see it. And you told me that for Dinner in America and this one, The Holdovers, and I watched both of them and had no regrets on either of them. And this one it's like it's almost a movie from a simpler time, if that makes any sense. Like
it is, and it even tries to emulate the '70s, the way they put like, the film grain on it, the little pops of the projector.
Yeah, like if you're an actor, like, and if you just want to see a movie and with like limited distractions other than like the art of getting sucked into who these people are, then that's it. And dude, like his eye, I didn't even know that eye thing was like part of his character.
Yeah.
Like like it was so good, I had to sit there and think, does Paul Giamatti, did he always have something wrong with his eye? Like the way he did it, it was just like, I was like, no, that's acting, bro. he's acting. Like everything.
Oscar nominated for that.
Yeah, and rightfully so. But this is another movie that when you're watching it, you feel cold. And I'm talking about temperature cold because of the way it just captures all of this. Like, but yeah, no, this was a great. I'll let you do the spiel because you've already watched it again.
Well, I don't have a spiel. We can just talk about it. But I mean, we've both seen it. But I just think that it's got a good story. It's got the message of just sort of like learning to understand other people, you know, feeling alone at Christmas. I think that's a common theme. And I really enjoyed like Paul Giamatti. He was doing his gimmick in this one. He was doing his usual thing, right?
Yeah.
But I loved at the end when he finally makes a connection with the kid. They have a breakthrough, and the way he sort of like, I don't even know how to describe it. I'm losing my train of thought.
No, though it's just like you like the way they set it up in the beginning that you knew that there is going to be a very combative relationship they were going to have.
Yeah,
and they literally had this was the equivalent of like you two go into this space by yourselves and work it out.
Yeah,
and except now they stretched that over the length of a film and worked that out.
Right, and you kind of like you just don't like him at the beginning of the movie, but by the end, it's almost like he grows on you as well.
Which is also feels like that's a little bit of the opposite of how we've been taught in films, right? Like usually it's just like the professor is trying to do good and the kid is the big mouth and he's the one that's not really focusing, but the professor has his problems too, right? And he did win the award for this, right? So did Divine Joy. They both won.
No, he didn't win. He lost to Oppenheimer.
Oh, okay, but
they
won. They won Golden Globes.
Yeah, he got the Globes.
Yes, she won the Academy Award too.
She did, yeah. And I love her story arc. I mean, that's great. I don't know. It's filled with like characters that you just kind of want to know and be around. You know?
Yeah.
Even like the side characters, it kind of only come in for a little bit. Like the janitor has some really good spots, but I don't know. I love movies about like finding family where you don't have one.
Oh yeah, especially now more than ever. I feel like a big thing around the holidays where a lot of people struggle is whether when you were growing up and maybe the holidays were one thing and now that you're adults and people are having life and the pandemic, the pandy did whatever it did and people like are separated now more than ever. Like it's not only the family that you were given, but like it's the family you choose.
Yeah.
Are just as important. And you see it on Thanksgiving where you hear more about Friendsgivings more than ever. And I feel like a lot of people do that with the holidays. This movie encapsulates that so well.
Yeah,
just like the family that you have right here in front of you.
And I think this one is just safe to put on around everyone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's nothing really edgy in this movie, offensive, whatever. All the concepts, the stories are pretty graspable by anyone of any age.
Oh yeah,
you know?
it definitely, even though it has that fantastic 70s vibe, it still tells a timeless story. Like I wanted to hear like Afternoon Delight because it's just like, oh, it took me back to that time. But this was Alexander Payne, right? This is who he's collaborated with before, right?
Has he done one with him? I'm not sure.
Sideways.
Oh, Sideways, yeah.
Which and Downsizing, which I enjoyed. I know a lot of people didn't enjoy it, but I didn't enjoy it. But this one, probably of all his films, probably had the most heart in a long time.
Yeah.
I feel like.
I think it's really rewatchable. Definitely should add it to your yearly holiday film marathon.
Holiday film marathon for sure. And it's just like Peacock, I think, is probably one of the cheapest streamers that's out there.
Yeah.
And I think it's on Peacock.
Yeah. It's on Amazon Prime too.
Yeah, you can always grab that.
Comes with free shipping
on there. I don't know, man. That's a pretty good obscure Christmas list that we came up with. Like, I feel like everything we just talked about, I feel like I want to watch right now.
That'll get you through the next 24 hours or so,
Yeah.
or the next 48 hours.
And the clock is ticking, because does anyone really watch, I mean, A Christmas Story for 24 hours? You might just leave it on in the background.
Yeah, it's just sort of like, it's a decoration.
Yeah, it is
for your
100% a decoration.
A decoration with soda ads.
Did you rewatch the requel of that on HBO Max?
What is the requel of that?
A Christmas Story, or
oh, I did watch that.
Christmas Story?
Yeah.
I only watched it once, and it was probably might need a few more viewings to see if it's going to be one of those ones that like it doesn't move you the first time, but then eventually you do get it.
Yeah. I guess I could revisit that. But I remember seeing it. I feel like A Christmas Story is so burned into my brain that I can't even acknowledge it.
Yeah.
It's just like white noise. That's how much they play it, right? And then, they have the decorations everywhere. It's licensed. Yeah. You buy the leg lamp.
The leg lamp.
But like, it's almost like that's why I think maybe just burned in from having it played for 24 hours a day. Because somebody would definitely leave that on.
Oh yeah, it's definitely going to come on, and it's just going to stay on. It could be. It's become part of the tradition. And then there's somebody who bought the house, and they redid it to make it look like, because obviously he shot it on the set and the exterior was different, but now they changed the interior to match that, and then they bought the house across the street and they're selling swag. So this movie's not really going anywhere, and you probably when this movie was made had no idea, like the staying power it was going to have.
Bob Clark was low-key genius.
Yeah,
ahead of his time.
Clearly, he came up with Porky's, Christmas Story, and Black Christmas. There's your trilogy for maybe you should watch for...
do you need more than that? Do you need more of a resume than that? Oh, hey, before we go, since it's Christmas, if you'll look to your left...
My left?
You got the office party gift.
What's that?
There's a gift for you.
Oh, me?
Yeah. In the bag. In the green bag.
What am I... Oh, God! What the hell am I doing? Why am I blind? It's just we got so much cool stuff here.
That's the official office party.
Oh, nice! Look at that. Thanks, man. Nakatomi Plaza. Let me go that way.
Yeah. After trashing Die Hard for the last half hour, I figured I had to make it up.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. That's a good way to end.
But anyways, All right, so
that is for the official office party, since there is no offices for either of us anymore.
There is no such thing.
No.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that we didn't get to Office Christmas Party, so maybe we should go watch Office Christmas Party.
I'm watching Trading Places right now.
All right.
But all right. Well, we'll maybe see you next week. I don't know. One more.
Yeah, let's do one more. If we maybe do a New Year's special,
we'll see.
We could do that. But again, let's go down the list of the Merry Christmas, Joyous Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah, have a nice day. But just like, and if you just want to chill, if you're one of those people like where you don't want to just noise, then just going to the movies is great. And the movies are open on Christmas, and it's the one place, and you and I do this, we go a lot together, but you can go to the movies by yourself and still feel like you're part of a community. If you don't want to do anything, don't even say anything, you just want to be yourself.
Yeah.
It always makes me feel better. I can be in a bad mood. I'm just going to go to the movies by myself, and I just get transported, and I always feel better. So if you're in that headspace where you need to do that, go to the movies. That's our advice to you.
I love it.
All right.
Solid.
All right. See you next time. Peace.
Merry Christmas.